Hola guys and girls, and welcome back to a new round of the Pincer Mania. Of course, I got once again 3 glorious topics to talk about, but that's not all. Of course, I got 3 even more glorious people to discuss these topics with me. First up, we got him from the GBA, from the PPL as well. You know him under the name of Fizz, coach of the Atlanta Lucha. Say hello to the people.
Is anyone besides me gonna win?
Oh, maybe.
No.
No. There we go. Next up, actually an analyst of the GBA, coach of the New England Patriots, Berk. As well.
What's up?
Yeah, we can hear him, actually. Nice. We had some problems before that. And as last but definitely not the least, coach of the Maryland Terrapins in the PPL, wrecking it at the moment. We got under the radar, aka Kelly.
Hey, what's poppin'? I'm coming for that championship. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, like, from the record here, you're definitely looking good right there, but yeah, let's see if you can translate the success from there to here, and yeah, for
Not even a
explaining...
question.
What do you have?
Not even a question.
Not
Of course I
even a
can.
question.
I'm gonna
Okay.
destroy these two.
Okay, bold statement.
You're wrong.
There they are already, the pro MLG discussion strats from
See, I don't really have to talk shit because I'm gonna win.
Ah, nice. But
You're wrong.
But okay, for all new people to this series, we have 3 topics, only about league-related stuff. Each of these fine gentlemen picked one mon in each topic and will defend why it's that is best or why the others are crap. But yeah, we got 3 rounds. If there's, I will decide a winner each round. If there's an overall tie, we will go into the speed round, which will basically be a 4th topic in which I only have a limited amount of time to make that pick and defend it. But yeah, these are all the rules. Let's start with the first round, which is none other than what is the best fire type in League format. And starting with the first part of this round is basically the people telling you what they picked and why. And yeah, let's start with Fizz. What was your pick?
Alright, my pick was Victini. The reason why I picked Victini, it's a huge nuke button, but that's not all it can do, and that's not all it should do. I mean, some weeks, that's all you really have to think about. You can just go like, you know what? This is going to win. I'm going to do Victini, nuke button, V-create, choice band, or choice scarf. But he can hit from both sides really well, has a incredible good move pool with really powerful attacks. Primo ability, can run mixed, can run either side of the spectrum, and just good stats all around. It's really hard to deal with in counter.
There we go, Victini, the very, very threatening wall breaker you can draft. And yeah, Berk, what was your fire type of choice and why?
So I picked Infernape for the best fire type.
Sorry,
And,
reflex.
Infernape, you know, Fizzy talking about the versatility of Victini. Infernape is probably the most versatile fire type in League format. It does anything that you want it to. It can be a support set. It can be actually defensive because it gets reliable recovery. It can be offensive on both sides because it's good move pool. Plus 104 attack and special attack. The 108 speed puts it above any of those meh base 100s. So it can outspeed and take those out. And not only that, it has setup on both sides. So if you think that just Life Orb, just Band, or just Specs doesn't hit hard enough, you can run Swords Dance, you can run Specs, you can run Calm Mind. So it's got great versatility in League format, the best out of any fire type, and that's why I chose Infernape.
There we go, Infer-Ape, the versatile ape. And as last but definitely not least, once again, Kelly, what is your fire type of choice and why?
So the fire type that I picked is Darmanitan. Here's why. Yes, it's not versatile. It is OW, but sometimes that's all you need. You need to weaken things with the teammate, and then you need that one fire type in Darmanitan to just nuke everything. Not only that, it gets access to U-turn, and it gets access to Earthquake. It needs nothing else aside from that to just be a massive pain in the butt for someone to try to switch into. When you try to switch into it, you have to take like rocks damage, big deal, but it is the most powerful fire type in the entire world. It's impossible to switch into that thing, along with the fact that it's very easy to pair it up with other wall cores to get good volt turn synergy, and then able to just destroy things late game.
There we go, the big owl, which is named Darmanitan. These were the different picks of the people. Now going into the actual debate. Fizz, let's start with you. Why is Victini actually superior than the other two?
Alright, so I heard some shade thrown Victini's way, why it only gets base 100 and everything. But it gets base 100 and everything, and that's really good. It has base 100 HP, can't say the same for either of those, and both defenses, can't say the same for either of those. So it's a bulky fire type, whilst hitting hard, and last time I checked, neither one of these other schmoes over here, Infernape and Darmanitan, got V-Create. Deuces up for victory, baby.
There you go, the V-Create Mon Victini. Yeah, Berk, Infernape, why is it better than the other two?
Alright, I don't even really need to go over Darmanitan. It does one thing. It hits Flare Blitz, which Infernape also does. And if you slap a band on Infernape, nothing's really switching that either. Yeah, Darmanitan U-turns, so does Infernape. Oh, it gets Earthquake? Well, guess what? So does Infernape. Not only that, Infernape's faster, and you can run either physical or special. Victini, yeah, it's a bulky fire type without reliable recovery, which Infernape gets. So, yeah, you might be able to run bulky, but you're not going to be able to get your health back up. And it takes more damage from rocks, which Infernape only takes it neutrally. The other two can't, so if you try to run pivots with them, they're going to be taking more rocks damage. Plus, Victini's a psychic type that doesn't even get Calm Mind. It's one of the only psychic types not to get it. Infernape does. So Infernape not only can hit hard. Yeah, it doesn't have V-Create, but you think V-Create's going to hit harder than a +2 Infernape's Flare Blitz? No, it's not. Because Infernape gets that setup that Victini can't.
There we go, and yeah, Kelly, Darmanitan, what does it have what the other one don't?
First off, the stupid V-Mon, whatever the heck that thing is, that thing dies to Pursuit. So many things run Pursuit just because after Victini gets a kill, comes in, pursues it, and it loses a whole bunch of damage. Happens every single time. Not even a worry. As you said, weak to rocks, so is Darmanitan. Big deal. However, you also mentioned that Victini has base 100 HP. Do you happen to know what Darmanitan's HP stat is? It's base 105, so it's higher. Big deal. Now, you said what's going to take a +2 Flare Blitz or a close combat from an Infernape? What's going to take a Belly Drum Flare Blitz from Darmanitan? You can run Sub-Salic Berry, get Belly Drum, get +6. You sweep through an entire team. Sheer Force boosted. It doesn't matter if you are faster. You can run Banded. Scarf Darmanitan Flare Blitz is still stronger.
There we go, Darmanitan apparently the strongest out of the three. Fizz, let's see what about Victini? Basically your third round, your last chance. What has Victini, what the other ones don't? What can you do better? And so on.
I'm still trying to cover from what an absurd statement by Belly Drum Darmanitan. Oh my goodness. It's never gonna happen. Never, ever, ever. And I hear this talk about reliable recovery on Infernape. When is this thing ever going to get to recover? And if you put Slack off on Infernape, that's wasting a move slot that it needs. Infernape needs all 4 move slots to be as effective as it can be. And so all this other stuff is ridiculous. Sure, it can set up Nasty Plot. That makes it a little bit better. Swords Dance is okay. But hey, Victini doesn't need all that. It can sit behind a sub and have all the coverage it needs and just kill stuff. It can V-Create and kill stuff. It can get away from Pursuit Trappers, or it can just straight up kill the Pursuit Trappers with a strong fighting type move, which it gets. And you know what? Victini is just too sweet. He's the best of all time, ever. That's it.
That's it.
Oh, it doesn't need Calm Mind. That's the other thing. Forget Calm Mind. That's ridiculous. Infernape ain't Calm Minding. And it gets U-turn too.
Okay, the U-turn argument I think you can make for all three, so that's a bit out of the question, but yeah.
I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that Victini also gets U-turn.
There you go.
These other fire types aren't special because of it.
There you go, people. Don't you ever forget that Victini gets U-turn as well. And yeah, Berk, Infernape, why is it, in your opinion, still better than the other two after all these statements which were made?
Well, I think I forgot to mention that, unlike the other two, Infernape gets priority on both sides, physical and special. So yeah, Darmanitan might be able to set up a belly drum, but then, it's not living like a Mach Punch afterwards because it's frail as hell. And it's going to kill itself when it uses Flare Blitz anyway, so...
That's why
it might get off a big hit, but it's just it'll die next turn. You can't really make the U-turn argument. Everything gets U-turn, and You say that Infernape really needs the coverage. Fire and Fighting is one of the best dual typings, only resisted by very little, and you slap a band on that, not much is going to be taking it. And Victini gets one strong move, only one, and that is V-Create. If your opponent has a bulky water type, then it's switching to that V-Create. It does not do special sets better than Infernape because Infernape's stronger. It can run setup, whereas Victini, yeah, it's got some good coverage, but Infernape's got just as good coverage and can hit even harder. So I don't really see just setting up a sub and killing everything. Plus, his V-Create, he's going to lower his own speed, so it makes him even more susceptible to things like Pursuit Trapping. So Infernape is just so obviously the best fire type out of these three. It's not even close.
There we go. That is Infernape. And yeah, Kelly, last word of this round. Why is everything the other said wrong, and why is Darmanitan the best?
Define best. Hits the hardest, Darmanitan. Has the best coverage, yes, we got Infernape. However, if you just want a solid nuke, you don't need versatility, you just need a powerhouse, Darmanitan is what you're going to pick because it is the strongest with its sheer force ability. No matter how much utility you can get, it's not going to match up to just having that button in the back where you can just click Flare Blitz and get a kill late game. It's just, it is what it is. I'm sorry, Berk, Infernape sucks, and therefore you suck, so just deal with it. Darmanitan's better. And Victini's going to get Pursuit Trapped.
I can get...
Like,
hey, whoa. Hey.
It's not my fault that you were bad with Infernape.
Look. Hey, and Victini, V-Create's not its only strong move. Bolt Strike, Blue Flare, let's go.
Those aren't real moves.
these moves don't exist. Okay.
Jealous.
There we go. That was the first round, which is what is the best fire type in League format. And now we skip to the part where I have to decide which one of these three guys make the best arguments for them on. I can basically agree on close to everything they said. Darmanitan is definitely the strongest with the sheer force boosted Flare Blitz. Infernape, from versatility here, it is definitely the mon which can do the most. Kinda can do pull-off defensive variants, but that's only a very niche thing with Select and stuff like that, but it gets rocks as well and all the coverage. Victini is close to be that coverage, but what Infernape doesn't have, what he has, is that nuke button in V-Create. So if you want to say like, Darmanitan is the strong one, Infernape is the versatile one, and Victini is the one which can kinda both, but not as well as one of the other two. So, from the argument side, who want to give this point to? So, from Fizz, I basically heard Victini doesn't need anything. It has U-turn and V-Create and coverage. So, and it's the best. These are the main arguments from Fizz. From Kelly's side, I heard mainly that Darmanitan is the strongest, and what else do you need if you have a wall breaker? And yeah, Berk did very well on the versatility of Infernape, what it can do and what not. And that's why I want to give this first point for the first round to Berk, because versatility is one of the main things in League format. Yes, you want power as well in Darmanitan and Victini, but I think, at least in my opinion, and I'm the judge right here, I think versatility is more important, and with setup you can definitely pull off the wall breaking you want to do as well. Boom! There we go.
I feel personally attacked.
I feel humiliated. I want to punch Berk in the face right now.
Well, if you would have picked a real fire type, you probably...
If you wouldn't have picked a stupid one that actually does things aside from V-Create and doesn't get Pursuit Traps, maybe we would have won.
It does!
You're tearing this family apart. You're tearing this family apart.
Look, if you would have just picked a real fighting type, or fire type, like Arcanine would have won. I was afraid when I picked Victini,
Darmanitan does 474.
Arcanine. Arcanine is actually the best.
Okay, guys. I stop it right here. The argument is over. All these nice arguments you've just made right here.
Yeah, I already won. You can keep.
Yeah, you can keep talking.
But I already won.
Berk is just sitting in the corner, happy with the point he already got. But nothing is lost yet. We still have 2 rounds to go. This was only the first one. So let's hop right into the second round, which is, what is the best non-mega fast mon in League format? And with fast, I mean base over 110. Not equal to 110, it has to be faster than one of the Lali twins, because other than that, I don't really think it's a speedy mon. Other than that, it's a decently fast mon. But yeah, we heard Fizz the first time, last time. Let's start with Berk. What was your fast mon of choice and why?
Alright, so my fast mon of choice was Tornadus Therian. I think this was such an easy choice for fast Mon that's the best in League format. For one, it's got base 121 speed. It outspeeds most of the metagame, and it outspeeds almost anything else that your opponent can throw at you. So really good in that point. But what makes Tornadus better than almost any other fast Mon in League format is the fact that it has really nice distribution of stats. It's pretty bulky, plus it has Regenerator, so it's got a lot of staying power for a Mon that can act as a mixed wall breaker as well. It doesn't have the highest attack and special attack, but it's got enough for what it needs to do. It can run a whole lot of different sets. Assault Vest and Life Orb are the two most common, but you can run almost any item on this. Even Scarf if you want to. I've seen Scarf Tornadus Therian run before. It's got an insane move pool, and it's got pivoting abilities, which makes it one of the best bulky pivots in League format. So I think it's just so obvious that Tornadus Therian is the best fast Mon in League format.
There we go, Tornadus, the fast pivot of the game. And yeah, next here up, Kelly. What was your fast Mon of choice?
The fast Mon of choice that I picked was Starmie. Now, here's the awesome thing about Starmie. You need a bulky-ish kind of wall type thing. You have Starmie. You need a hazard removal. You have Starmie. You need a wall breaker. You have Starmie. You need Thunderwave. You got Starmie. Everything that you could possibly want, Starmie can do. It can be a wall. It can set up anything. It has amazing coverage from Bolt Beam to Scald, which is absolutely the best move in the game. You have Energy Ball. There's so much that this thing can do. On top of that, it has two amazing abilities that can go along with it. In Natural Cure, so you can never have to worry about getting paralyzed and being slow, or toxic and being worn down like continuously, and Analytic. So if you force something out, you're now forcing something to take like a Choice Specs, Analytic, Scald, or Hydro Pump, or Ice Beam, and it's so hard to switch into it if you build it the correct way. It's also very hard to kill because it has reliable recovery and recover itself. So in other words, you can recover, not get status, be ow, and just Thunderwave things. It's amazing. I love Starmie. It's better than Tornadus Therian. Easily. Shut up, Berk.
There we go, Starmie, the spinning star thing. And yeah, last but definitely not least, Fizz, what was your fast Mon?
My fast Mon of choice was the best fast Mon of choice, which is Weavile. It's actually faster than anything mentioned so far at 125 base speed. It's got 120 base attack and stab knockoff. Wow. Not only stab knockoff, but stab ice shard. It's got a stab priority, and ice is so good offensively that it really can't be ignored. Weavile is a threat to literally every team. It has pursuit, stab ice, stab knockoff, and great coverage. And the only things that can wall it get bopped by a natural power, natural gift. That's the move. It does that. It's so fast, it's so strong, and it really doesn't need anything else because it's got two incredibly good offensive typings and incredibly good move pool for those types.
There we go, the incredibly powerful Weavile. And yeah, let's start to the second part of this debate. Berk, let's go with you again. Why is Taunty actually better than both Starmie and Weavile?
Well, if we start with Weavile does literally one thing, and it comes in and clicks an ice move or knockoff. Most likely knockoff, and it's weak to rocks, so it can only do that so many times before it can't come in anymore due to hazards. Tornadus, yeah, it's weak to rocks, but it has Regenerator. It will never die to a rock switch in because it always recovers enough HP to take rocks again. So it can function so well to get in, get out, deal a lot of damage to what's in front of it because of its move pool. It gets all the coverage it needs. You just have to pick the right moves when you're planning. And yeah, its most powerful stab is Hurricane, and that's a little bit shaky, but generally you don't even need to run it. And with proper team support, Rain, you could easily run Hurricane on it, and it becomes a really powerful sweeper because not many things want to switch into offensive flying, which it can do very well. And just as a bulky pivot, it can easily take almost any hit in the game and then be able to U-turn back out and get into something that is better suited for the matchup. As far as Starmie, yeah, Starmie can spin, but Starmie's not a wall breaker. Starmie has very very limited amount of power it can put behind it. And yeah, it's got Reflect type, but Tornadus can easily dispatch Starmie. I mean, you can run so many different items on this thing, and it just makes the versatility of Tornadus Therian puts it so far above both Starmie and Weavile.
There we go, that was Tornadus, and yeah, Kelly, Starmie, what does it do better than the other two? Or what the others do just worse?
Okay, so you said that it'll never die to a rock switch in because it has Regenerator. At the same time, if rocks are up, its ability is pretty much gone, neutralized, completely useless. So Regenerator isn't really the biggest argument that you got there, now is it? It's fast, yes. However, if you want to be able to outspeed everything, then you're not going to be able to run either a lot of bulk, so it is less bulky, or, I'm talking about Tornadus Therian, by the way, or it's going to be a whole lot less offensive. And with base, I believe, 110 special attack and 100 physical attack, uninvested, it's not going to be doing a whole lot, especially because, as you said, its strongest stab is Hurricane. It's going to miss, especially if you're Shroom Raver. Weavile. Let's talk about this little thing called Weavile. It does literally one thing. Hits Knockoff and Icicle Crash. I'm going to count that as one thing because it's Weavile. If you have a berry, it dies to a small breeze. All you need is a Cobra Berry or a Yachi Berry, you'll live anything. If you have a decent Steel type and that's not quad weak to fire like Scizor, you're good to go. Again, it gets low kick for those Steel types. It's weak, so weak that it just dies to anything that has a berry. Starmie can live hits, be out. Say it's not a wall breaker, it gets Psy Shock to hit on the physical side and Psychic on the special, along with a bunch of other moves, along with Analytic. If you can tell me that you can find something to switch into all of its moves, I will give you $1,000. I'm lying on that, by the way.
I want to say, I would look myself right now if that would have been a true statement. But okay, there we go with Starmie, and yeah, Fizz, Weavile, let's go.
Alright, let me tell you a little story about Tornado. Now, I heard mention that with the right team composition, it can hit Hurricane. That's all well and good. And we're talking about Rain. And why does no one draft Rain anymore? Because it's bad. You have to have your...
the hell out of you.
Hey, you have to have Politoed as your water type, first of all, or compound weaknesses. That's just bad. Politoed is a bad water type. We can all agree on this. Now, as for Starmie, I gotta say, I heard earlier that it's bulky, it can be sort of a pseudo-wall. Guess what? Weavile is especially bulkier than Starmie, due to HP stat being higher. Now, Weavile being maybe a one-trick pony, but that's one trick that never misses. See, we're talking about Steel types
Actually,
that can...
Icicle Crash does in fact miss, so technically it does miss. I'm sorry,
Nope.
Go ahead.
Nope. And we're talking about Steel types that can come in and counter Weavile, but with berries. First, they gotta take the knockoff coming in. So, goodbye berry, hello low kick, you're done, you're dead. Now, I want to say a couple things about Starmie now. Starmie, sure, it can do a lot of things, but you know what? It doesn't do any of them super well. It's not a great spinner. It's not great. It's actually shitty defensively. I'll go there. It's decently fast at 115, but its special attack is 100. That's so bad. That's so bad for an offensive mon. It's just so negligible that, like, I don't even... If I see Starmie on a team composition, I don't even worry. But you know what I do worry about? Weavile. Because Weavile is an instant threat always, as soon as it hits the field. It can open up a game and be an immediate threat.
There we go, Weavile, which is apparently the biggest threat of all of these three. And yeah, Berk, let's start the last round of talking. Why is Taunty? Yeah, why is the second point worth for Taunty?
Well, Fizz, I gotta agree with you on one thing. Starmie is pretty trash. I mean, it doesn't do anything well, and I might have to ask one of the GBA coaches, Tom. He has plenty of experience with Starmie, and it's absolutely terrible.
Do you use your phone, Joe?
Hey, I had Starmie and it was bad.
And you want to talk about Rain being bad, Fizz? Don't you use Rain in the PPL? Don't you have
Yeah,
Polycomb?
it's bad. It's bad. It's really bad.
You know who else uses rain in the PPL? Oh, that's right, I do.
And don't you also use Tornadus Therian in the PPL, Kelly?
You know what? You
And
picked
so-
it before me, so I couldn't pick it for this, okay?
And
Oh!
there's an immediate
Oh no!
admission that
He admitted it.
Torn T is better than Starmie. He wouldn't even
No.
pick Starmie if Torn T was still around. That's an admission that's already better. And because it just does more. Yeah, it can't spin or defog, but it doesn't need to. Regenerator makes it so rocks are useless. Not that Regenerator is useless because of rocks, but the rocks are useless because of Regenerator. Torn T just does so much. It is not something you can overlook because either you won't be able to kill it because it's too bulky and it just has that staying power, or it's going to hit really hard with Life Orb Hurricanes, Life Orb Superpowers, Life Orb knockoffs. Not only that, it can function as a really good stall breaker because it gets things like Taunt. Not only that, yeah, Weavile might get Taunt, but it's not going to take any hits. So it's not like you can taunt and stay around. Tornadus Therian just can fill so many roles on a team that Weavile can't because it does only one thing. And Starmie is just going to be that spinner that's meh at best.
There we go, Kelly. Both teamed up versus
Lars,
Starmie.
let me at him. Lars, let me at him.
Yeah, let's go, Kelly. Let's go.
So, first off, Starmie is the best spinner in draft format. It is the best. You think Mega Blastoise can stop spin blockers? Okay, Starmie gets Shadow Ball. You expect to be able to switch in on that stuff? No! No! Starmie is so powerful with Analytic. You think that base 100 is meh at best. I'm sorry, you know what else has base 100 offensive stats? Tornadus Therian and Victini, yet Starmie is meh because of it? No! This thing gets set up in cosmic power. Yes, it might not be the bulkiest thing in the entire world. However, you want to try to take it down after it's taken a cosmic power or two? No, that's right, because you can't. Then all of a sudden, it has Recover along with it. Try to kill it. Oh, sorry, you can't, because all you have is a Taunt Breaker Tornadus, which dies to a Psyshock. Oh, and you have a Weavile, but I have a Cobra Berry with Scald. It just beats both of them easily, without a question. It's just a done deal. Weavile is basic. It's like that girl in high school that you all looked at and was like, ugh, basic. That's Weavile. Tornadus, it's a wannabe. It thinks that it can do cool things, but all it can do is have a somewhat useful ability if hazards are not up, and it can either be offensive or bulky, not both. Starmie can do both and be versatile. Thank you, I rest my case. I hate you, Berk. Drop the mic.
There we go with Starmie. And yeah, last talk of this round, Weavile. It's one-dimensional, it's strong. What else does it got, or do we want to keep going on that?
I could tell you a couple more things about Weavile, but one thing I'm really gonna hit home on. Priority. Guys, priority is so important in any team composition, league or no, but especially in league. And to have stab priority, especially stab ice priority, when basically every team needs like a strong dragon to survive, I'd say. And it just a whole bunch of other things that are actually weak to ice. Ice is so good offensively, and when you have a strong Pokemon like Weavile with a stab priority ice shard, you can't mess with it. It's unmess with it-able. Not to mention, I'm going to throw this out there too. It's got an actually really cool move pool as Scizor, Poison Jab, Dream Eater, Focus Blast, Nasty Plot, Blizzard, Sunny Day, Toxic, Hone Claws.
Because not every Mountain is toxic.
Metal Claw. But really though, it does have a pretty cool move pool outside of just what you normally see. And so people don't really expect those sort of things to be coming out of Weavile, even though it can bring them. It can bring it. And it's the best beat-up user in the game. Everyone loves beat-up.
I'm about to beat you up for thinking that Starmie's bad.
Hey, also, 1v1, Weavile beats both these.
Debatable.
Nope, it's not!
It probably will. It probably will. Like, if Starmie can run a berry, then Weavile can run a berry as well, and... Yeah, there we go. And Tornadus dies to Icing Crash. But okay, these are the arguments. Weavile, the mon which beats both of these 1v1, Tornadus T, the bulky pivot which has a lot of coverage, can pull off a lot of strings, and Starmie, arguably the best spinner in League format with a lot of other things to offer as well. So, now it's up to me once again to decide who will win this round. Let's start with Fizz, because he was the last one who were talking. Weavile insta-threat once hit the field. He made a very good job on emphasizing on that. Knock off Icicle Crash. This is a great offensive combination. Dark itself already has basically close to no resistances. Like, fighting types are usually not defensive. Then you got the fairy types which can switch into Weavile. It gets Poison Jab, like you already said. And Ice is, of course, an insanely good offensive typing as well. There are so many high tier mons which are 4 times weak to Ice, which you can pick off of Icicle Crash or Ice Shot if they are set up and Weavile is not already faster. Then we got Tornadus, very good bulky pivot, if not the best bulky pivot with U-turn and Regenerator. If you put Slap Assaulters on that, it can do a lot of special hits. It has a lot of coverage. It's kind of lacking the power. That's what the other emphasized on. Same with Starmie as well. But with Taunty, you kind of have to rely on Hurricane. That's always a shame, but if you have the right coverage, you don't need to rely on Hurricane because you can just click one of the coverage moves you have prepared for the mon in front of you. With Starmie, yes, I would agree that it's the best spinner in the game. On the other hand, you have Mega Blastoise, but Mega Blastoise arguably in most leagues at least, the lower tier Mega. And quote-unquote wasting your Mega slot on Mega Blastoise is not something everyone wants to do. Some leagues reward that, of course, with a lower budget or lower point value, but in some free leagues that is still a problem. Starmie has a lot to offer with its reliable recovery and the spinning, of course, and analytic and gesture cure, very nice abilities. So, now, for the point...
I'd also just like to throw out there really quick the omission that Kelly would have not picked Starmie if he didn't have to.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm using Guarantee right now. I'm a little bit biased, but after making my decision, I have hashtag no regrets.
If you didn't have any regrets, you wouldn't have said that today.
Okay, there's still the argument, these things behind the scenes you don't know is actually that the people have to have a pick order for their, or had the pick order for their mons, and we can't have double picks because it would be pretty lame if like everyone picks the same stuff. And it seemed Kelly wanted to pick Tornadus C, but got sniped by Berk, so that still stands in the way, of course. But I'm not arguing about that. I'm arguing about the arguments which were made. If Kelly would have like helped Berk with arguments for Taunty, that would have been a different story. So I'm not going into the whole details about that stuff. So yeah, back to the point giving. I want to give this point to this round to Kelly and his Starmie. Both guys teamed up versus Kelly and the poor star guy, but he made a very well job like countering all these arguments. They said it was weak, and then Taunty has the same weakness and stuff like that. So yeah, I think he made a very good job at that. Yeah, I want to give this point to Starmie and Kelly.
Yes, Starmie is my bae.
There we go. This was the second round. We have now 1 point for Kelly, 1 point for Berk. Fizz still waiting on his point, but he doesn't have to wait long because the third round is starting right now. Let's see. Can Berk and Kelly grab this win for themselves, or are we going into the speed round with Fizz taking this win? Let's not talk about that too long. Let's just start with the topic, which is none other than that. What is the worst, quote-unquote worst, fully evolved Dragon type in League format? We already started with Fizz, we already started with Berk. Let's hear out Kelly. What is your pick and why?
So, my pick is from personal experience. The worst fully evolved dragon is easily Goodra. Here's why. The main thing that Goodra does is it runs 4 coverage moves with an Assault Vest. Therefore, it is extremely weak to hazards and statusing. So if you Toxicate, have a layer of spikes and Stealth Rocks up, you are instantly losing your Goodra. All it takes is a decent Fairy type. Yes, it has a Sludge Wave to hit those, but if you want it to be bulky, it's not going to be doing a whole lot of damage. Not to mention, its base 80 speed is absolutely terrible, meaning that if you have anything that outspeeds it even a little bit, and if it's not running an Assault Vest, Special destroys it, and Physical destroys it. I will give it that it has a pretty good move pool, but what good is a move pool whenever it's worn down, extremely easy, and then easily put into revenge kill range from something like, I don't know, a Starmie? You know, it doesn't matter what it does. It gets worn down way too quickly to ever do anything super offensive.
There we go, Gudra, the Mon, which sadly is not bulky enough. And yeah, Fizz, what was your pick and why?
My pick was Kingdra. This
Fuck off.
dumpster fire right here is so trash that it can't even do what it's good at on its own. It needs a team of support players. Speed, 85. Garbage. Makes me want to vomit. It's supposed to be a sweeper. And everything else is 95, is so lackluster with an HP stat of 75. Disgusting. Its move pull is so trash that I can't even look at it. It's just gross. It's basically just water and dragon, which is decent, I guess, but in the end, it's not enough to do anything of note. It needs rain to do anything good at all. And other than that, like, what does it really do? Just, it kind of sits there and does nothing.
There we go, Kingdra, the Mon, which can't do anything barring it's raining. So yeah, these were Gudra and Kingdra. Berk, what was your worst dragon of choice and why?
The worst dragon by far, fully evolved, is Flygon. Flygon, when you think of Flygon, what do you think of? Do you think of the strong dragon stab, the strong ground stab? No, the only thing you think of when you think of Flygon is U-turning. Flygon is so bad, the only thing it does best at is getting off the field. It can't, and it doesn't even do that well. You can even think of something that's faster like Noivern that can U-turn better than this thing. Yeah, it's got 100 attack, and you know what, 100 speed isn't bad, but the rest of its stats are base 80, so it can barely even, it can barely do anything. To be powerful enough, you have to run a band, but for it to even come close to sweeping, it has to run a Scarf. It doesn't get any setup whatsoever. It's a terrible dragon. It can't do anything aside from staying off the field and letting the rest of its team members clean up for it.
There we go, Flygon, the premier U-turner of the whole Pokemon world. So yeah, back to Kelly. Now you can start bashing the other. Why is Gudra actually better than, or worse in this round than Kingdra and Flygon?
Okay, so first off, this is Draft League format. Am I wrong?
No, it's Draft League format, yeah.
Okay, so that means you can build around Kingdra, giving yourself rain. You're actually not stacking weaknesses because Kingdra is not weak to electric as Politoed is. In the rain, Modest Life Orb destroys. I have 8 kills with it this season. It is absolutely amazing. So freaking powerful. Doesn't matter what the speed set is. In the rain, it outspeeds, I believe it's Scarf-based 130s. It might be 128s. It's something like that. It's stupid fast, stupid strong. Flygon. So hold on, let me get this straight. Base 100 attack. Bad. Therefore, Gudra's offensive stats are bad because it has base 100 and 110. Not to mention, Gudra is not able to get the momentum that Flygon can. Flygon can at least get you momentum, force switches, and then destroy with other mons. Not to mention, Flygon can also be a really good revenge killer. It doesn't need a Choice Scarf because it's faster than the likes of Darmanitan, Nidoking, and other really offensive mons. It can speed tie with some of the most powerful megas like Mega Gardevoir. It doesn't matter, it can speed tie with it, it can hit them very hard with one of its 2 stabs. Not to mention, it also gets Defog and Roost, so it can be a pretty decent wall in certain spots. You know what doesn't have reliable recovery? Gudra. You know what isn't a very good revenge killer? Gudra. You know what isn't very fast? Gudra. Gudra shit. I rest my case.
There we go. Now let's back to Fizz. Why is Kingdra better than both of these fine dragons right there?
I think you mean worse, because it is quite literally a
yeah.
dumpster fire. Now, I will start with Flygon, right? Flygon is actually pretty dang good. I don't understand why it got picked at all. It's got great typing. Ground and Dragon is phenomenal typing. And plus it has Levitate. It's immune to ground. That's amazing. It's got Stab EQ, Stab Outrage, Stab Dragon Claw. It can Hone Claws, so it actually can set up. U-Turn is being so undersold right here because U-Turn is incredible in League format. It can roost, as said before, and can defog. So it's actually pretty versatile in the things that it can do. It also gets Tailwind, so it can support the team as a whole through Tailwind and defog. It can roost and be bulky. You could even attach a vest to this thing and just be 4 attacks. I'm a Flygon, I'm gonna attack you. Its move pool is pretty extensive. It's got great coverage. I mean, the best coverage in the world is Dragon, Ground, Fire, and it gets all of that. And it can do it mixed. Special Flygon, while base 80 attack isn't great, but the things you're going to switch into it are not going to be taking the special hits too well, because they're not going to expect it. Now, Flygon, I think, is pretty good, especially with defog being so important, especially in League format. It can always be there for you to do defog and other things, because having versatility in League is so important. Goodra, man, I love Goodra. I'm using it right now, and I've used it before, and it's really good. In fact, good is right in the name. Goodra. Now, okay. Now I want to say that Flygon had a good ability in Levitate. Goodra has 3 good abilities. Sap Sipper, Hydration, and Gooey. With Gooey, it actually can be a revenge killer, because it can come in, take a hit, slow you down, and then bop you with one of its super effective moves that it's gonna have, because its move pool is incredible. It actually can run Choice Band like very effectively. Its special attack is really good. Its special defense is 150. Why are we even talking about how bad Goodra is with stats like these? 90 HP, 100 attack, 70 defense isn't even bad. 110 in special attack, 150 in special defense, and 80 speed. These are good stats. And it's pure dragon, which means it doesn't get obliterated just by any ice move. In fact, you can't really
obliterated by Icicle Crash from Weavile.
Hey, anything gets bossed by Icicle Crash by Weavile. I'm just saying, like, you can't... Look, a lot of dragons, people will do this. They'll tack on HP Ice, and then like, oh, okay, I fixed the problem. You can't do that with Goodra. Goodra doesn't have to run Vest. It doesn't have to run 4 attacks. It can run things like Toxic, like everything else, which is really good. It can Rain Dance Hydration away the status. Its move pool is incredible. Holy crap. Thunderbolt, Earthquake, Sludge Wave, Flamethrower, Stab, Dragon moves. Dragon Tail, it can phase, Focus Blast. And all these are coming off a base 110 special attack, which is incredibly good. And its defense is deceptively... It's at 70, it looks bad, but it's actually pretty good when it's taking resisted hits. So you can plan for Goodra to actually be physically defensive. I've done it, and it works. It's proof. Kingdra needs a whole team around it to make it good at all. It's terrible. Like, sure, okay, water attacks and rain is pretty good, but so many other things can do it and do it better. Goodra, it's a one-trick pony that needs another person, another Pokemon to make it any kind of decent. It can't just come in and be good. It's got to have rain set up. And to have it be extra effective, you have to make Politoed from bad to extra bad, because you have to attach damp rock to it. Ugh. It's disgusting. It makes me want to vom.
Did you just say vom?
Yeah.
Poor Fizz, poor Fizz. Yeah, he's very sick already, but only by seeing Kingdra. So let's not talk about that anymore, and let's get to Berk. Flygon. Why is it worse than the other two, or why is Goodra and Kingdra actually so good that Flygon can't hold up to them?
You know, he said, you know, Fizz, you're saying that, you know, Kingdra doesn't really do anything, but Kingdra is the only dragon that can spam Draco Meteor. The only dragon, because you set up one focus energy, and it's just going to town with Draco Meteor, and that is going to be...
on that? You right on that, Bert?
It's going to be a really hard-hitting Draco Meteor. Where Flygon uses it once, off of a really pitiful 80 special attack, which is worse than both Kingdra and Goodra, and then it's got to switch out. And it's only going to do damage if it's choice specs, and even then, it's not even going to do that much, because, oh, what's going to happen, you know? A Fairy's going to switch in, and Flygon, special Flygon's not going to be able to do anything, and to kill Fairies, Flygon's going to have to use Iron Tail, and we know how reliable Iron Tail is a move. Whereas Kingdra gets Flash Cannon, and Goodra gets Sludge Bomb. So Flygon can barely even deal with fairies, whereas at least Kingdra and Goodra can. And you also mentioned that Goodra can take ice hits because it's pure dragon. Kingdra can take ice hits because it is not even weak to it because of its water typing. So it can deal with ice types, no problem. Whereas Flygon would die to an icy wind. That's how frail it is. You know, 80 and 80. Oh, those are great stats for a defensive set. It runs Roost. It runs Defog. But, okay, what does it run next? U-turn? Then it's not even hitting anything. Yeah, it can Defog, but it's not even the best dragon to Defog. I'd much rather have a Salamence for that, because Salamence can at least hit back, whereas defensive Flygon can't do crap. It is the worst dragon. Goodra, I don't even have to really go on that. It's got so much options to it, and it can be run defensively. It does have reliable recovery, because we even say, like, Manaphy has reliable recovery in Rest, Rain Dance.
That is not reliable. No, sir.
That is very reliable, because it gets you back to full in 2 turns, whereas something like Wish gets you back to full.
If that's the case, then Swift Swim Kingdra is extremely reliable then.
It is if you have a good team for it.
But you have to have a team for it.
Therefore,
you can have a full team for Flygon and it's still not going to do anything. When I used Flygon, it got less kills than an Umbreon. Why? Because Flygon is trash. All it does is Choice Scarf U-turn, get the hell out of there, let someone else do its work for it. It is like the middle child of dragon types. It doesn't do anything because no one wants it. So Flygon is just absolutely terrible compared to Goodra, which is really good, and Kingdra, which is also really good.
There we go. Let's dig deep into the last round of talking. And yeah, Kelly, Goodra, let's go. Alright guys and girls, we are back. We had a little problem with technical difficulties on my side. Sadly, I could not record the whole rampage Kelly was on, but he's of course kind enough to rekindle that fire and go again. So yeah, Kelly, Goodra, let's go.
So, Goodra, 3 good abilities, according to Fizz, yet Kingdra only has 1. Let me point this out. He's including Hydration, which you need Rain for. If he's including that, Kingdra has 2 good abilities. Even with those 2 good abilities, Kingdra is still faster and stronger than freaking Goodra. Yeah, Goodra has really good coverage, blah blah this, blah blah that, but it's going to have to be a switch into things. How many times can it switch into a layer of Stealth Rocks and a layer of Spikes and be able to take 2 physical hits? Well, let me break it down for you. It can't. But you want to say that it can clean up late game. It's not fast enough. It's only base 80. You have no way of speeding it up aside from a Choice Scarf. Then it's not bulky. It's locked into a move. And then you can switch into it extremely easily. You know what can clean up late game? Flygon. Even if it is Choice Scarf, it has U-turn. You never have to lock yourself into something that is going to be immune to something else. You want to say that Kingdra is not a late game cleaner? It is. All you need is Rain Up, no matter what, and Surf's Hydro Pumps. Ask Polymac what a rain boosted Hydro Pump does. It does so much damage to literally everything. Draco Meteor, it's so powerful. You have momentum in Flygon. All Goodra can do is sit in there, be fat, hope it doesn't die, and then switch back out to come back in and take more hazards damage. It is actually pitiful. It will never get the KOs that you want it to where Flygon and Kingdra both will. I rest my case. You both suck.
There we go. Harsh words on the end. Yeah, Fizz, Kingdra, why is it so bad and not as good as Kelly describes it?
Oh man. Let me get around to this. Kelly doesn't think Sap Sipper is a good ability because you don't want to run off offensive Goodra. That is so insane to me. One of the best moves in League format is Sleep Powder. Sleep is so huge in League, and Goodra is just your counter. Goodra can like straight up counter freaking like a Mega Venusaur. It can have a physical moveset, by the way, and I'm gonna demonstrate that right now. Power Whip, one offensive grass type that's actually already strong on its own. Outrage is good, and it's coming off of a base 100 stat with a +1 after Sap Sipper ability. That's pretty good. Earthquake, so it's already got great coverage right there. I don't even think I need to go on because it's still got more moves that I don't even need to mention. Fire Punch, I'll mention it. Iron Tail, whatever. Superpower, wow, it's even got a superpower. Its superpower is being good. Okay, now, we're talking about Flygon now. We're talking about U-Turn. Look, U-Turn gets so much momentum, and Flygon on its own gets so much momentum. It's got great typing, and it can threaten stuff offensively because it has stuff like Earthquake and a strong Dragon-type move. So U-Turn actually becomes its greatest asset, and I know we like to joke about it, but we all know U-Turn is a great move. We can't just go, oh yeah, all it does is U-Turn. That's all it needs to do. That's all it needs to do. Everything else is the cherry on top. Now, we want to talk about switching into rocks and a layer of spikes to take hits. Not much actually can do that. Kingdra actually still can't do that. So if we want to say Goodra is bad because it can't switch into rocks and spikes and then take hits, Kingdra also can't do that. But you know what actually can? Flygon, because it levitates and it resists rocks. Booyah. Kingdra, the only thing it can do well, it needs a full team to do it. Like, it can't even just straight up sweep. It has to late game sweep. So not only does it need Rain Up, but it needs everything else in the team to do enough damage so it can sweep. What? It's like the freaking 6-man ward. Like, oh, it's not even good enough to start the game. It has to like ride Pine until the very end, and then maybe it has and like can do enough just to get them over the hump. It's what a glory hog. It's like the Mike Allstott of Pokemon. It's freaking done, gets the ball to the 1-yard line, and Mike Allstott's like, well, I guess I'll run it in. Pfft. Kingdra. What a garbage. And also, I want to say, Goodra's not going to get you the KOs that you want it to get. Its attack stat is 100, and its special attack is 110. These are really good stats, and it's got a good move pool, and it can run choice items actually really effectively, so it could be the nuke that you want it to be. Goodra is so versatile, and Flygon is too. Kingdra can do one thing, and it's trash. It needs a full team of support to even do the one thing. I'm done!
Fizz is done with everything, so let's see if we will get done with this round as well with Berk. Flygon, is it worse than the other two?
I mean, do we have to even answer at this point? Yes, it is worse than the other two. By far. I mean, Kingdra, you say, well, it can only late game sweep. It can wall break if you just set up a focus energy. Yeah, that's so hard to do. Then you just start spamming Draco Meteors. And
or if you just get the Rain Up.
Or if you just get the Rain Up.
Only if the team's weak.
And you want to talk about Rain? Goodra can set up its own Rain to then use Hydration. So you're talking about, what if it gets Toxic? No, Hydration. Well, then it also gets Rest. So now it can actually switch in on Rocks and Spikes, take a hit, and then rest off all the damage. And it's, especially if you're on a Rain team, perfectly fine. Flygon, yeah, it gets Roost, but if you're running a defensive Flygon set, it just doesn't have enough coverage or anything to deal any amount of damage. And it's one of those mons that you're always just going to tack on HP Ice to kill, and it's going to die because Flygon can't take hits. So Goodra not only is really bulky, like 150 base special defense. Do we not realize that how bulky that is? Like, you don't even have, like, we say Florges is so specially bulky that you don't even have to put in anything into its special defense for it to still take special hits like a champ. Goodra has almost the same special defense. You don't have to invest anything. Special hits aren't touching it. Kingdra is not going to take hits, but it's going to dish out so much damage that you say it's only a late game sweeper. It is more than a late game sweeper. If you put it on a Rain team, it's going to sweep. Put it just by itself. It has agility, so it can sweep by itself. Set up an agility. Start spamming Hydro Pumps. Start spamming Draco Meteors if you've got a Scope Lens. It's that easy to use. Flygon, you guys are saying U-Turn is so good. I would rather have any other U-Turner than Flygon because it is it won't even hit that hard with U-turn. It won't take hits. It's not a bulky pivot where it's going to switch in, take a hit, and U-turn out. It's going to switch in, take a massive hit, and maybe U-turn out if it lives. Whereas something like, maybe a Tornadus Therian can switch in, take the hit easy, outspeed, and U-turn right back out. This thing has to run a Choice Scarf if it wants to do anything. Or it's defensive. It's not this versatile mon that you guys keep talking about because, yeah, you can run special, but it does not hit as hard as Kingdra nor Goodra. So special doesn't even hit that hard. Physical, Goodra has the same attack stat as Flygon. Kingdra is base 95, only 5 points less, but Kingdra can actually sweep. Flygon used to be good. Back in Diamond and Pearl, it is middle-aged at this point. It is the middle-aged, middle child of Dragon Pokemon. It doesn't do anything besides stay on the bench, and if it's out in the field, it wants to get back on the bench because it don't want to do anything anymore. So Flygon, terrible. The other two, so much better. If you're going to go for a Dragon type, you might as well draft those two first. Flygon, just leave undrafted. It's never going to do anything. You might get off one defog, but it's going to die in the process.
There we go. These are all these 3 dragons, and once again, it's up to me to decide who is actually this time the worst dragon of them all. So,
real quick, Lars, can we get on video evidence that Berk has to take Jumpluff in his next draft as his U-turner?
Yo, I pulled up U-turn also. Pavilion.
Jumpluff!
Hold on. There's way worse ones.
okay, we got the proof right now.
Unpheasant, Swoobat.
You're not allowed to...
Perugly, Luminion, Vespiquen.
Luminion is a bulky defogger.
Mac,
do a better job than Flygon.
Beautyfly, Dusthawks, Yanmega, Jumpluff. These are terrible. Furret, Ladian, Farfetch'd.
Okay, let's stop right here. Let's all agree just on Berk. You're not allowed to draft Flygon again if Ladian is still on board.
That's fine. I'm not going to draft Flygon ever again.
Okay, Danny, is that all the questions?
I'm just saying, Joey's using Flygon pretty good.
Okay, let's start the whole point thing. Kingdra, let's start with that. Fizz made a very good point. It's basically have to run Rain. You I don't even know if anyone ever drafted the Kingdra without Rain support on any team.
Because it would be trash.
did last season in PPL.
Oh, okay, so it did actually happen. I don't quite remember how well it did there, but yeah, Kingdra Premier in Rain. Without Rain, meh. Then we got Flygon. Flygon, yeah, it's known for U-turn. Everybody knows that, but that's not because it only can U-turn. Just because U-turn is a very good move. The other guys made a good point about that. Any mon with U-turn would be great. Like if you grew a U-turn, give Kingdra U-turn, and they would be even better than they are. Flygon
Kingdra might actually be good if I had U-turn.
Flygon, Fizz made a good point. Hazard-wise, it's not affected by any hazards barring rocks, and that is even resisted, so it's actually a pretty decent defogger and U-turner, because it can repeatedly hit the field without getting too much damage from hazards. And it's, like I said, it's decently versatile. It has a 80 special attack set, of course not too much, but it's decently enough where you can run something to hit something 4 times so effective, with some moves it gets, like Flamethrower and stuff like that, or random hidden power if you want to do that. Goodra, very special on the bulky side, has 3 good abilities, one which works in Rain, so it kinda on par with Kingdra in that, but it works way better out of Rain than Kingdra in my opinion, and you guys made a point of that with Sapsipper and Gooey. Sapsipper, of course, more of a niche ability, you will most of the time be Gooey, but if your opponent has a Grassmon with twin potential Seed Powder Mons, you can't just run Goodra. Has very good mixed capabilities with attack set and that special attack set and that move pool. It's the slow.
Goodra still would not be better with U-turn though. Like I want to get that straight. It would not be any better if it got U-turn.
Oh, it would be so good. I would run max speed.
I'm sorry.
I think every mon gets better if it gets U-turn. You don't have to run it, but just having the option, of course, makes the mon better. So back to the pointing part. I want to say I definitely think that what Berk and Fizz made well is that Goodra, in my opinion as well, and they made a good point of that. Goodra is definitely the best out of these 3 dragons. So Goodra is out for this point. Now I have to decide between Flygon and Kingdra.
Sick of this shit! No!
Now that I have to decide between Flygon and Kingdra. Kingdra, like I said, very, very good in rain. But in rain, it's Hydro Pump. It's basically as it would have adaptability, and any mon with adaptability is insanely good. Like even Crawdon, Mega Lucario got banned because of that. It can easily spam Draco Meters if it get a focused energy up. Then it's not as fast, of course. But if it's more of a wall break, it doesn't need to be that fast. Just need to be faster than the walls. Then we have Flygon on the other side. Yeah, Defog, Hazard Removal in general is very valuable in League format. Like, people are screaming over having enough Hazard Removal on their team. You don't only have one Hazard Remover, you usually want at least two. So that's a very good point on Mons, even though it's offensive. Like, offensive Defogger work very well if you can scare Mon out and get a surprise Defog off. So I don't think you can't like, say Flygon's a bad Defogger just because it can take hits. As long as it can force its mons out, because it's offensively threatening, because Outrage and Earthquake are great stabs, very high power, with stab even more. So, these are these two mons, and from these points, I gotta say, even if Kelly will cry, I will give this point to Fizz and Kingdra.
No! No! They're fire! This is
racism!
Kingra's terrible! It's so bad!
Flygon is so bad, they decided never to give it an Mega Evolution.
And
Neither did
goes
Kingdra or
for Kingdra
Gujaberg.
and Gujaberg as well.
Shut
so.
your face.
So,
You know what? If I ever get in the GBA, I'm drafting Rain and Kingdra, and I'm gonna sweep both you guys with it.
I mean, if you want to prove
Please.
something, if you want to prove me something, draft Kingdra without Rain and do something with it.
Yeah. Prove
Bet.
me wrong.
Bet.
There we go. We have another bet right here. If Kelly gets in the GBA, he will draft Kingdra without Rain.
And I'll
We have
1v1 it with Articuno, and you'll be like, oh no, I don't have an Articuno.
To be fair, it's 4 times weak to freeze dry, so that's kinda unfair.
Yep.
But okay, these are the last rounds, and if you look at the points right now, you can see that you actually reached the overall tie between all three people having 1 point. So we will get into the speed round. Like I said, I explained it to these guys already, but to explain it to you guys as well out there, the speed round is basically a fourth topic which these three guys never heard of before. They will only have 30 seconds to make their choice on this. Like 30 seconds, each of one of you just screams into the mic what they want to pick. First comes, first served. If it's already screamed, you can pick it as well. And then each of these three parts we had in these total rounds will only last 30 seconds for each person as well. So you have like a total of 1 minute and 30 seconds to talk about your mon and the other. So yeah, pretty speedy. That's why it's called the speed round. And yeah, as long everything is clear, we can start right after that. I have the timer in front of me. So let's reveal the speed round. The speed round topic for this Pincer Mania is none other than: what is the best second stage evolution in League format?
What?
Porygon 2.
Porygon 2, there we go.
That's a stage 1.
Wait, are we doing stage...
Stage
Two
1,
as
like
in-
in the like.
No, okay,
Pokemon
never
card?
mind. We don't count Porygon 2. Let's start the time again. Okay, seems it was a bit confusing. I'm counting.
Middle level, yeah.
I'm counting
Wait, so
second
only-
stage evolution as the first stage. I meant the first stage evolution. It's the second stage. If you want to like.
Okay, so
Wait, so I
Okay.
still...
Okay.
So I
could I say Chansey?
No. No,
No,
wait.
okay.
Yeah, you can. It was. Okay, let's start again. Let's start the time again. I give you 20 seconds now because you got more time to think. Let's go. 20 seconds from now.
P2.
Chansey.
P2 Chansey.
Dusclops.
Dusclops, there we go. Dusclops and Chansey. And the time is now up. There goes the timer. So, 30 seconds. Berk said it first. P2. Why is P2 the best first stage evolution or second stage mon? One of the two, in your opinion. Let's go.
P2 is the bulkiest first stage evolution with an EV Light. You know what? Chansey has got really massive HP stat, but it's frail on the physically defensive side. And without the Eviolite, it's useless. Porygon 2 is not only super bulky, but it can easily win games by itself with Eviolite. Even without, it's still bulky enough. It's got really good abilities. It has a wide move pool. And, you know, those abilities can help,
And
especially
30 seconds
when...
over. Let's go with Fizz next. Why is Chansey your pick in the best first stage evolution round?
Oh man, Chansey is so good. Its HP stat is super high. It's got an incredible special defense stat. Eviolite makes it really good where it actually can take hits from both sides. You have to have knockoff to even deal with it. but meanwhile it's toxicking you, it's hitting you with a super effective move, it's messing up your team. It can support aromatherapy wish, heal bell. It can recover, it can counter, it can seismic toss. It's so bulky and so just threatening. It can even set up stealth rocks,
And 30
man.
seconds are
I mean,
over.
P2 can't do that.
Let's go with Dusclops and Kelly. Let's go, 30 seconds.
Okay, so first off, Chansey's setup fodder, while Dusclops is not considered setup fodder because while yes, they do both rely on 50 HP damage moves, Dusclops gets Curse and Will-O-Wisp and Toxic, so it can actually do really cool things like that. It can be a Trick Room setter if you have a slower team. It can be a wall. It can be a really bulky pivot. Chansey is complete setup fodder, while Dusclops is not on. Yeah, I don't know.
He doesn't know. Dusclops is just a mon. Okay, this was the first round. Berk, why is actually P2 better than the other two? Your 30 seconds start now.
All right, well, P2 not only gets these amazing abilities, it's not setup fodder. Yeah, it can't stealth rock, but it can get Thunder Wave, it can Toxic, it can do all these things to your opponent that's going to mess up their team. It can just sit on the field, and unless you have a dedicated knockoff user, dedicated fighting type, it is not going down. And it's just going to cover in your face, and it can wall even the most powerful physical and special types. It just is amazing, and it can actually take on a Mega Pidgeot if you have
30
Trace
seconds.
and no guard.
Let's go, Kingdra. Not Kingdra, sorry.
What?
Chansey. I was looking at the wrong thing.
Alright, so it's got Thunder Wave, so it can slow down a team. It's not as bad as setup fodder as Dusclops, because if you sub up on it with a big enough sub, you can just sit there and set up on it. It's going to ignore all that status stuff. Chansey has Hyper Voice, which goes beyond sub. So we're talking about that right there. It's got an actual move pool that can hit super effectively and can hit Calm Minds off. It's got
And
heal,
that's 30
it's
seconds.
Healing Wish. It's the best move in the game.
Dusclops!
So first off, I just want Berk to win this because I hate Chansey that much. First off, Chansey's the biggest setup fodder in the game, as Crimson Seabad. Second of all, P2 is so fat. It's so amazing. It's complete. It's not setup fodder. Dusclops and Chansey are both setup fodder. Go Berk. Chansey sucks. I love you, Berk. I hate Fizz.
Okay, that was a nice speech for P2. Last round of talking. Berk, what can you add to P2?
I think me and Kelly have already talked about why P2 is amazing, and also it's just not setup fodder. It does almost everything Chansey does, except you're not going to set up on it. Chansey has a good move pool. It's got base 35 special attack. I don't care if your Hyper Voice is going behind subs. It's doing 5% to whatever's behind that sub. It is trash. It is terrible. I would so much rather choose Blissey than Chansey, because Blissey is at least not setup fodder.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, Fizz, Chansey, how strong is it actually? Let us know.
It's got Healing Wish, which will give you a second chance at life on whatever sweeper you have. It can help set up for other mons, so it's actually not set up fodder because of Healing Wish. You try to set up on it, you can Healing Wish into whatever counter. It can also T-Wave, so it actually stops setup. You can't actually set up on it. It's ridiculous. I've never heard such a ludicrous argument in my life. And it's a team supporter. It has Heal Bell and it can set up rocks. P2 can't do any of that shit.
Okay, 30
Can't
seconds.
even Healing Wish.
Kelly, your last chance to say something. 30 seconds.
You've never seen Chansey be set up fodder. If something has a big enough sub and gets behind a sub, Seismic Toss can never break it. And shut up about Hyper Voice as it's never doing anything. P2 can be fat with Thunder Wave, with Recover, with Trick Room, with Volt Beam, with Tri-Attack. It has Analytic and Trace. You can know your opponent's ability if it's something like unique. It is so insane. You can trace Pixelate and have Pixelate boosted Tri-Attacks.
And that is 30 seconds.
And you can be cool.
And you can be cool. Even though, okay, Kelly, okay, for the
Can I have an
points.
additional round since I'm getting tag team?
Yeah, like I said, that was a tag team. Kelly gave up on Dusclops. That seems more of a panic pick. So Kelly's out of the question for this. So we are now Chansey versus P2. And, okay, I gotta say, the first tag team was not that effective, but right here, Chansey got utterly destroyed by Kelly and Berk. So we'll give this last point to P2 and Berk. Make him the champion of this part of
Fizz.
Berk, I want
Pincer
half of that point. Berk, I want half of that point, because I was all on your side for this, man.
I honestly think that none of us really believed in anything except for P2.
I mean,
I was so close to being like, Machoke! And then I was like, oh no.
I mean, the funny thing is, I don't know why you all even picked, like, Eviolite mons. You could just pick Clefable or Excadrill or Starmie. They're all two.
No,
first stage evolution.
Clefable.
No,
Nah,
Clefable, not Clefable.
Clefable.
Clefable's fully evolved.
Correct.
Clefable's-
Clefable actually not. You're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny enough that you all think of Eviolite mons first, before you think about the other possibilities.
Because those are the only ones that he used.
The only ones that are good. I can't even think of any. Like, Chansey's the only...
Yeah,
There's
like
the only
I was trying to
non-Violet
think of,
one I think of.
like I was trying to think of middle stage mons that were decent, and I was like,
Yeah.
P2.
Name me one that's not P2 or Chansey.
Duplicate.
Ah, fuck.
That one's pretty good.
There
Yeah.
we go. But
It
that's
still
last-
loses to P2.
I mean,
Like, P2 is the ultimate argument. It's easily the best.
at least we had 30 seconds talking why Dusclops is better than P2 and Chansey, so...
Also, one more thing. I just want to take one more dig at Dusclops. You said ask Crimson about why Chansey is set up fodder. Ask him about Dusclops.
Oh, we're terrible. We love you, Crimson, though. We love you.
Yeah.
I think it's Twitch channel as well as the question, but yeah. This is the whole Pincer Mania for now. Like I already said, Berk managed to win this one. All links, of course, not only from the winner, from all these fine gentlemen, will of course be in the description, be it their Twitter, be it their YouTube. They all have great leaked content waiting for you there, or some memes and stuff on Twitter. Whatever your heart desires, you will find it there. So definitely check these guys out. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Definitely leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. Hit me as well up on Twitter or Facebook if you feel like that. Yeah, that's all from me. Any last words from you guys?
I'm exhausted. I put everything I had into that Chansey argument.
Darmanitan is still so much better than Inferno. I cannot even begin to
Arcanine is actually the best fire type. I was just
Alright.
being picked 15.
Also, Kingdra is amazing.
Kingdra's terrible, Gudra's good. It's in the name.
Fizz,
And
I
that
wanna
should have been the only
punch
argument
you-
I made.
I
I
wanna
don't think
punch
I
you
even
in the
had to
stomach.
argue against Gudra.
I want to
I
punch
should
you.
have focused everything on Flygon.
Okay, like you guys can see, there's still space to argue more after this recording. But yeah, Berk, you got anything to say?
I won. Suck it, both of you.
There we go.
I mean,
Let's
if
end it with
that's what
that.
you want.
I will see you another time.
Present it.
Ciao.